This video is sponsored by AFK Journey, and there will be a link in my description for you guys to pre-register and get a ton of rewards. Thank you AFK Journey for sponsoring the channel. AFK Journey has provided me with early access to their brand new game, which is a sequel to the AFK Arena, which is probably a game a lot of you guys have heard about. But let me tell you, this game is completely different to its predecessor. And the first thing you'll notice is this beautiful 3D art style. I think it is anyway. But come on, seriously, look how good this game looks. I have not seen a game look this stylistically pleasing in a long time. A lot of games follow the same generic art style. You either go two routes nowadays. You either have Unreal Engine or anime, and all the anime games kinda look the same. So it's a big breath of fresh air actually seeing a unique and compelling art style for once, and I will definitely be playing it just for that reason alone. Now tell me honestly that this game doesn't look beautiful. Look how this game has evolved from its original AFK Arena. The game looks completely different now, so you can tell the developers put a lot of time into this game. Now, AFK Arena was originally just a mobile game, but you'll be glad to hear that AFK Journey has a seamless PC port, which is cross-platform, so you can play when and wherever you want. So you can waste your time at the bus stop, then continue to waste your time while you sit at home when you're supposed to be doing work or recording videos. Also, in PC, it gives you the option to go full screen, which makes the game look really good, by the way. So that's a really nice touch. That's something I really wasn't expecting. I really like the way that the game just expands to widescreen. That's a really nice feature just from a technical point of view. I mean, you wouldn't think a mobile game can look this good on full screen. It is just a testament to see how much hard work has gone into this game. Not gonna lie, I did not grow up playing mobile games, but oh boy, this stuff is actually not too bad. Anyways, back to the game. The game opens up with you waking up with amnesia, and you have this neat little character creator, which is a nice touch in a game like this, where you will be sinking tons and tons of hours into. Then you are thrown straight into the game, and the pacing for it is insane because you just wake up from your nap or something, you don't remember anything, then this weird bunny squirrel, Chippy, joins you as you go to see the cause of some massive fire. And then you meet General Hogan, who's this old guy you've been friends with for decades apparently, which means you're playing as an old man, maybe? But yeah, then you see the wizard girl and then you fight a couple battles and the game moves pretty fast. Personally, I like this change of pace in video games as I don't have it in me to sit through hours of boring backlog before getting into the good bit. Oh yeah, did I mention this game has insane voice acting, where I think most of it, if not all of the dialogue, is spoken, and each character has a lot of charm and uniqueness in their own voice. The weird furry squirrel people are squeaky, and the old night people actually sounds like old night people. It's a nice touch, but if you're like me, you're probably going to want to skip through a lot of the dialogue just so you get to the main attraction of the game, which is this combat system, and AFK rewards you by letting you progress when you're not even playing. The game is lightning fast thanks to its unique 3D hexagonal combat system, where you get to position your units at the start of the battle to protect certain units. Then you get to choose when and where to use your special moves on the field to target certain enemies or allies, which adds a ton of depth in battles. But a cool feature of this game, since you know in its title AFK, is that if you want to avoid all that, you can press this button in the corner and just increase the speed of the fight so you can zoom past fights without even having to think, which is perfect for me since you know your boy's kinda slow and doesn't want to think too hard because that would hurt my brain. I just want to get that dopamine rush. It's also a gacha game and there's tons of unique characters with their own roles and classes. Like we have supports who heal and give buffs to teammates, rogues, marksmen who can do damage from afar, warriors who can get in close to the enemy's face and deal a ton of damage, and a tank who tanks all the damage. Oh yeah, a mage who is pretty self-explanatory. You're a wizard, Harry. The game has this very helpful feature for people with smooth brains like me, which is an auto-equip, which automatically equips the best items so you don't have to waste your precious time thinking and shuffling through items in your inventory. Yeah, this is just way better. And I'm sure we can all agree who the best character is. Rowan? This dumb kid who has a duck on his head for some reason. Just look at him. Have you ever seen a character like him? Yeah, didn't think so. But sadly, my luck sucks, so I haven't pulled him yet. But from what I've seen of him so far in the story, he's the best character by far. And if you disagree, I'm ready to fight you in the comments about it. And the game level up system is super quick and satisfying since this game is an AFK game, which means you're constantly earning new rewards, hence always leveling up your characters. But the good thing about this game is that you don't have to build all of your characters, only 5, and you can swap out those top levels to whoever you want. So you don't always have to level up everyone, which really speeds up the game progress a ton. Sometimes it can be really annoying leveling up each individual character sometimes, and it just feels like a chore, but not in this game. when you get the same character again and again when you do your summons or pulls, as it's called in this game, hero recruitment, where you go to the mythical house menu and you go to the noble tavern where this really cool animation plays, where the bartender, who's this anime waifu, sends letters everywhere, and we see which characters will pull with their unique animations when you pull them, which makes it all feel very special. But if you want to get straight to pulling new characters as fast as possible, you can just skip it altogether. But just know you'll be missing out, because I know I've been saying this the whole video, but this game looks so good. The game takes place in the lands of Esperia, which is shown through this beautiful sprawling map with towns, chests, enemies, and there are these waypoints scattered throughout the map, saving you the hassle of having to mindlessly backtrack through the world. And to unlock new sections of the map, you have to clear this weird purple mist in a tougher enemy encounter, and after you beat it, you are rewarded with new sections to explore. Also, another cool thing with this game is that walking through the map, it's dynamic, where you can choose whatever time of day you want, and your characters react accordingly. Look, your guy gets a cool torch to light up the dark. The attention to detail really is neat. And as you explore, you'll see other players' avatars scattered around, which gives you a chance to interact with them, to add them as your friend or just stalk their profiles. Also, while you explore, you'll see these enemies walking around, and if they see you, they'll start chasing you down until the battle starts, or if you're good like me, you can just sneak past them. But I don't know why you'd want to do that since you gain nothing. But it's a nice touch being able to see enemies in an open world, walking around doing their business before you decide to fight them for no reason. Maybe we're the bad guys here, guys. The game has this cool feature known as carry-on posting, where everyone can leave cool, neat messages with cute emojis for other people to thumbs up if they find it funny, or yeah, just ignore it if it sucks. Cool feature though, adds a sense of community to this game, and it's nice to know you aren't the only one playing, which it can feel like that sometimes when you play a lot of these gacha games. One thing I like about this game is the great world building, which is tied in closely to its gameplay. Now, what do I mean by that? Well, there is a whopping 37 characters from release that you can potentially unlock. And guess what? They're all from 6 different factions. This means every character feels unique, and they don't feel like carbon copies. They vary from personality, design, gameplay, classes, and the faction they come from. Having 6 different factions is an incredibly nice touch, and it really makes the fantasy world feel lived in. On top of that, each hero feels unique as they come with 3 distinct skills, and on top of that, they have an ultimate skill, which you have to activate manually. Now we'll talk about characters. That brings us back to the combat. Now with these unique characters, it only makes sense to have a very unique battle system. By using the Hex battle map, players can assemble their teams in different lineups, which can enable you to actually come up with very unique and interesting strategies. So it's not the same bog standard experience that you can get each time. Instead, you can line up your team however you can imagine. And with the vast amount of characters, really it's up to you what you can come up with. I mean, if you want, you can just put all tanks on a team and see how that gets you. It's probably not a good idea, but hey, you can do it. Or, if you want, you can put your mage on the front line and have your tanks behind them. I don't know why you do that, but hey, it's possible. The game doesn't stop you. Speaking of characters, there are 6 different classes, so there's quite a decent amount to choose from. Let's get back to the gameplay. Now, I know I've mentioned briefly about the Hex battle map, but I can't lie, the hexagon battle map really makes the game feel that much more engaging. And it's not just because I like hexagons. I don't know why, they're just a really cool shape. But anyways, back to the point. A problem with many similar games that are available on mobile and or PC, they tend to have to downplay the combat system so it doesn't really feel lackluster. But that's what I love about AFK Journey, because with the Hex battle map, you do have to think, and it is a very rewarding gameplay system as you can come up with your own unique strategies that kind of work well with your team composition. So depending on how you decide to build your team and then go and play the game within the battle system can really make a big difference. So not only do you have to think about your team composition, you also think about how you're going to play with these characters within the actual combat system. So it's really a multi-layered system which is really rewarding to play, especially when you come up with a really great strategy that all just falls into place. But let me break that down a bit more. Not only do you get more control over the combat itself, there's also potential obstacles. Now, with this, you kind of have to adjust your strategy. It means not all encounters are the same, so fights feel very unique because you need to maneuver around whatever the map throws at you. For example, you can have walls, which can be a massive hindrance in terms of movement. Stuff like this really makes you have to think about how you have to play the game. Now suddenly you have a giant obstacle in the way. Now how are you going to tackle that? If your team is made up of mainly range units, it'll probably be pretty good. but those walls probably will provide a big issue for your close range fighters. So stuff like that really makes you have to stop and think. And suddenly unit placement becomes a lot more important. You risk spreading your team out too thin. So obstacles can really turn the tide of battle depending about how you take advantage of them. Now this is where obstacles can feel really rewarding, because you can come up with really good strategies that work with your team comp to overcome them and use the obstacles for your advantage. If it was just an open battlefield, they wouldn't be that important, you can just play on autopilot. But with obstacles, you can either be taken aback or you can use them for your advantage. And combat systems like this, where it really values your input and strategy, just makes it that much more rewarding when a great plan comes together. And features like this that really keep you engaged is what is really missing in the market at the moment, and I really like to see it implemented well. Overall, this is the first AFK game I really played, unless you count those stupid Fortnite and Roblox Tycoon, which I've spent way too much time in. But this game is super fleshed out and sets itself apart from all the others with its beautiful 3D art style, unique combat system, and constant AFK rewards. So the game progresses as you take breaks, and its unique and fast-paced storyline, I will definitely be keeping my eye on this game since it's actually pretty interesting, unlike all of the other soulless mobile games that come out nowadays. So check this game out, and thanks again for Lilith Games for sponsoring this video. Seriously, the game is actually pretty good.